slit his throat in this dream I had. I told her I'd grow up to be a famous rapper, make a record about doing to name it after.
Yeah, which brings me back to the dear old dad that I zero had.
For me, $10 million. Hi, Mom. His mom suing for $10 million. She must want $1 for every I've been stealing.
Is this lawsuit with your mom still going on?
Yeah, it's still going on, and it really pisses me off that I can't talk about it.
Marshall Mathers, better known as Eminem, didn't have the best upbringing. Being raised in poverty, his parents grappled with addiction and relationship troubles, scarred the young rapper, just as he was beginning to carve out his identity. As such, he harbored resentment for his mother and father and swore he would break the pattern when it came to his own daughter. He went out of his way to brutally dismantle and ruin his family, all in the hopes that he would not turn out like them. Of course, reality doesn't often pan out the way you hoped. The Detroit rapper had to stand up and address his failures head-on, and through this journey, he could rediscover his relationship with his mother and the place she occupies in his life. But why and how did Eminem set out to ruin his family before? Let's get into it. There is no doubt Eminem is a complicated person. His 25-year career has been defined by feuds, violence, and toxic male aggression. However, amid the chaos, the rapper has maintained the ability to lay bare his vulnerabilities and acknowledge his weaknesses. Nothing illustrates that complexity better than the fraught relationship between Eminem and his mom, Debbie Mathers, formerly Debbie Nelson.
There is a lawsuit pending still, which I'm trying to resolve things. I'm in the midst of trying to get things resolved. And because I have to forgive him.
Eminem opened Mom's Spaghetti restaurant in Detroit in 2021. However, it's not a sign that he's mended fences with Mother Debbie, but instead, it's a reference to his song Lose Yourself, from the soundtrack to his 2002 acting debut, 8 Mile. The menu includes vegan meatballs and a spaghetti sandwich, Eminem's favorite. Eminem may have named his restaurant Mom's Spaghetti, but in reality, the rapper has had a turbulent relationship with his mother, Debbie Nelson. The pair have been estranged for years following and accusations and lawsuits playing out in the public eye since the rapper came to fame over 25 years ago.
He needs to quit demeaning me. He needs to quit, making attacks on me. I mean, you don't do this to your mom. And it is so hard.
During their rocky relationship, Eminem referred to his mother on the My Name Is track from the 1999 album The Slim Shady LP, claiming his mother did more dope than he did. The rapper also accused her of triggering his addiction and substance abuse, and took every opportunity to denigrate her in his music. Yet, despite the hostility, mother and son were able to make amends and forgive each other. Debbie was only 18 years old when she gave birth to Marshall Bruce Mathers III. Eminem's father, Marshall Bruce Mathers Jr., abandoned them as soon as his son was born, leaving the young mother to raise their child alone. The mother and son duo faced destitution and eviction at every turn and moved frequently in search of financial stability. Debbie was in no position to shoulder the responsibilities of parenthood. However, Eminem's mother worked hard to make ends meet, even if the outcomes weren't always satisfactory. Unfortunately, her childcare abilities weren't up to her son's liking. He badmouthed Debbie in his lyrics claiming, "I told her I'd grow up to be a famous rapper, make a record about doing and name it after her." Debbie Mathers Briggs, her current husband, John Briggs, is her fourth, was blindsided by the admission. Shortly after the release of My Name Is, she sued her son for $11 million, claiming defamation of character. Eminem's team responded by saying his music only reflected the truth. In 2001, Debbie received a $25,000 settlement, but $23,354.25 of that went to her lawyer. His lawyer also said the lawsuit was a result of a lifelong strained relationship between Eminem and mother, and that it was pretty painful to be sued by your own mother. The animosity between Eminem and his mother didn't subside, however. In 2002, Eminem released Cleanin' Out My Closet, in which he accused her of suffering from Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a disorder in which a caregiver makes up an illness or injury in a person under their care. As if that weren't enough, he made more references to her substance abuse in the song My Mom. My mom loved Valium and lots of. That's why I am like I am. 'cause I'm like her. He also wrote how she added Valium in his food multiple times and would to throw him in the basement if he didn't eat his meal. My mom? There's no one else quite like my mom. I know I should let bygones be bygones, but she's the reason why I am high on what I'm high on. Debbie did try to provide context in her 2008 memoir, My Son Marshall, My Son Eminem. At first, I went along with it for Marshall's sake. If I made one mistake as a mother, it was giving in to my eldest son's every whim, she wrote, alluding to how she may have added Valium to his food, but only at his insistence. She also insisted that it was an uphill battle to care for her son, given her wretched circumstances. Just because she made some terrible decisions of her own doesn't mean Eminem should have taken the liberty to defame her at every opportunity.
When you can't go to the mob for being spit on and being called, you disgusting pig, it's sad. Because people are passing judgment by listening to Marshall songs.
He never knew his father, and I did all I could to make up for it. I wasn't happy when he made up a whole new life for himself. What mother wants to be known as a pill-popping who lives on welfare? As written by Debbie Nelson on My Son Marshall, My Son Eminem. To tell the truth, I was heartbroken. The lies started coming thick and fast, and not just from Marshall. I think he's forgotten the good times we had, and this book is my way of setting the record straight. With time, Eminem forgave his mother. There's only so much room for hatred and anger, and when the years weigh down on you, you begin to realize how everyone goes through a hard time. Years later, Debbie was diagnosed with cancer, and their strained relationship improved. Eminem put their feud to bed in his 2013 song Headlights, in which he talked about his love for her, forgiving her and apologizing for taking things too far. In Headlights, Eminem discussed forgiving his mother, questioning if he had taken his resentment too far. He also shed light on his father's role, or lack thereof, in exacerbating tensions between himself and his mother. If he hadn't abandoned the family at such a critical juncture, mother and son wouldn't have had to endure so much hardship. At the end of the day, the 50-year-old loves his mother and says she's still beautiful to him. She did her best to raise him and his younger half-brother Nate, even though the cross she bore was the heaviest of all.
I mean, at the end of the day, she's my mother, and I love her because she's my mother. I mean, even though we don't really speak, you know what I mean? She is my mother. I do love her, and I think I got a better understanding of what she was going through.
But regardless, I don't hate you 'cause Ma, you're still beautiful to me 'cause you're my Ma. All you did, all you said, you did your best to raise us both. Foster care. That cross you bear, few may be as heavy as yours. Debbie is married to husband John Briggs, has 3 grandchildren, and is living with a reported net worth of $700,000. Over the years, Eminem has said his daughter Haley was his biggest inspiration when he was broke and starting out as a rapper in rundown Detroit. But while Eminem clearly had his child at the foremost of his mind, the same can't be said about his own father, who abandoned him shortly after he was born.
One thing I never asked was what my deadbeat dad was. I guess he had trouble keeping up with every address.
The 50-year-old musician was only directly contacted by his father, Marshall Bruce Mathers Jr. in 2001, during the height of his career. However, Eminem refused to listen to his estranged parent. Mathers Jr., who died aged 67 in June 2019, isn't the only relative the rapper has rejected, with his younger paternal half-sister Sarah Mathers having never met Eminem, despite trying to do so. Sarah, who lives in California, is said to have tried to meet with her famous brother at one of his concerts before being turned away. She only discovered his identity in 2005, according to Hello. Sarah, now thought to be 41 years old, couldn't believe it when she found out that she was related to Eminem as a young adult. She was reportedly at a family barbecue when her father noticed Eminem on the TV and couldn't help but notice the resemblance between the musician and his paternal half-brother Michael, Sarah recalled via contactmusic.com. I'd known all my life that I had another brother, but Eminem, they'd got to be kidding. I giggled at the thought of it, then went back to join the rest of my family. But when my dad saw the resemblance between the two men, Eminem and half-brother Michael, he didn't brush it off. He phoned his great-aunt Edna, who'd helped look after Dad's oldest son before he split from his ex-wife, and she told him it was Marshall Mathers. Eminem was my brother. But when Sarah and her father tried to reach out to Eminem by attempting to meet him backstage at one of his concerts, the artist refused to meet them, according to the rapper's mother, Debbie, reported by Amo Mama.
I never knew him, so...
You never met him since?
Never met him, never knew him.
Do you want to, or...?
I don't know. Some people ask me that. I don't think I do.
TMZ reported that Sarah's father, Mathers Jr., suffered a heart attack while at home near Fort Wayne, Indiana. He died aged 67 in June 2019. Eminem has regularly rapped about being abandoned by his biological father and having never met him in person. The 50-year-old musician was only directly contacted by his father, Marshall Bruce Mathers Jr., during the height of his career. However, Eminem refused to listen to his estranged parent. His songs, My Name Is, and Cleanin' Out My Closet feature lyrics about his grudge towards his father. Eminem's mother, Debbie, married Bruce when she was just 15 and he was 22, and they welcomed their son 2 years later, but split shortly after he was born. While Debbie and Eminem lived between Missouri and Michigan, Bruce moved to California, where he started a new family, fathering 2 children. Bruce had spoken out in 2001 to say he had tried to reach out to his son, but blamed Eminem's mother for keeping him away. That year, Bruce told the Mirror, "I desperately want to meet my son and tell him that I love him. I'm not interested in his money. I just want to talk to him. I want him to know that I'm here for him if he lets me back into his life." Around the same time, Eminem said of his estranged father, "Don't know anything about my dad and I don't care." Eminem, who is father to Haley Scott Mathers, who he shares with ex-wife Kim, said in previous interviews that he would write his father letters as a child, but they would come back, return to sender. In Cleanin' Out My Closet, he raps, "My father must have had his panties up in a bunch, 'cause he split. I wonder if he even kissed me goodbye. No, I don't, on second thought. I just wished he would die. I look at Haley, and I couldn't picture leaving her side." Eminem not only dissed his family, but also went after his ex-wife Kim Scott, who he has actually married and divorced twice.
It just seems like ever since he's got, famous, blew up, our relationship went downhill from there, He became arrogant and cocky, and everything that he did for me or the kids, he has to be praised for.
Best known for his rhythmic raps, Eminem drew inspiration from his romance with Kimberly Ann Scott for several of his notable songs, though not all of them painted her in the best light, including Kim, 97 Bonnie and Clyde, and Love the Way You Lie, featuring Rihanna. In 1988, the pair met as teenagers at a house party and began an on-again, off-again relationship that would go on for nearly 2 decades. They were married twice, in 1999 and 2006, before divorcing for good in 2007. Not long after the two met, they began an on-again, off-again relationship, and the future rapper brought Scott home to his mother, Debbie Nelson's house. Marshall arrived home from school with a tall, sulky blonde girl, Nelson wrote in her 2008 memoir, My Son Marshall, My Son Eminem. He introduced her as Kim Scott and said she needed a place to stay. I was happy to help out, she continued. Kim said she was 15, and I had no reason to doubt that. In truth, she was so cute and busty that she could have passed for 17. Scott's actual age was revealed when truant officers inquired into her many absences from school. As often happens with troubled children, Kim told some pretty tall tales, Eminem's mom added. I looked on Kim as a challenge, someone I hoped I could give a better life to. Eminem and Scott welcomed a daughter, Haley Jade Scott, in 1995. Despite their rocky relationship, Haley has spoken highly of both her parents and their impact on her life. After graduating summa cum laude from high school in 2014, she described her dad and mom as influential figures. They have pushed me to be the person I am and have given me all the support to achieve what I have, she said in a school profile. In 2001, the Without Me rapper said becoming a father was a real wake-up call for him. She made me get my A in gear, to make something of my life and try 10 quadrillion times harder than I had before, he told British publication Q. Everything that I am doing right now is for Haley. The money, It's for her college. In between her 2 marriages to Eminem, Scott welcomed Stevie Lane Scott on April 16, 2002, with her then-boyfriend Eric Harder. In 2005, Eminem legally adopted Stevie when he got back together with Scott. Scott's twin sister Dawn gave birth to her daughter Elena Marie Scott on February 22, 1993. Eminem legally adopted her in the early 2000s when her mother struggled with use. "I have full custody of my niece," he told Rolling Stone in 2004. "My niece has been a part of my life ever since she was born. Me and Kim pretty much had her. She'd live with us wherever we was at." Dawn died in 2016 from a suspected overdose, people confirmed at the time. Eminem and Scott wed on June 14, 1999, before he departed on his first tour. However, things were rocky for the couple from the start of their marriage.
I mean, I guess we could talk to each other about anything. I guess that was a big thing in a relationship, but I don't know if he was a good husband or not.
During an episode of Dr. Keith Ablow's talk show in 2007, Scott said she married Eminem to keep him faithful and grounded when he went on tour, but it didn't work out. By 2001, the pair called it quits. However, they remarried on Jan 14, 2006, in a small private ceremony in Michigan, according to the rapper's rep, Dennis Dennehy. Family and close friends were in attendance, he told People. Shortly after, though, Eminem filed for divorce in April 2006, and it was finalized in an out-of-court settlement in December of that same year. There was a lot of sadness about why this didn't work out. They've been together for 17 years, her attorney Michael J. Smith told People. They're lifelong friends, lovers, have been husband and wife, they're raising children together. It's not the end, and it's not over between them, Smith continued. Kim is doing great. She is a very articulate, very smart woman. She is going back to college to study design. She just wants to be a mom and go back to college. That's what she wants to do right now. Following her second divorce from Eminem, Scott has mostly stayed out of the spotlight, but has also struggled with substance abuse and depression. On October 7, 2015, she intentionally drove her Cadillac Escalade into a utility pole after consuming prescription pills and a fifth of Malibu rum. "I sat at the end of a road where I knew that no one else but myself would get hurt," she later revealed, while speaking on 95.5 WKQI's Mojo in the morning. "Yes, I drank. I took pills and I hit the gas and aimed for a pole," she added. "I never expected to make it out of that alive. I apologized immensely. I did not even expect to make it through that, and I told police that I tried to do this on purpose." The crash resulted in a concussion, broken toes, and a broken wrist. Scott was booked on a DUI charge, for which she was ordered to attend counseling, undergo a year-long probation. Despite separating as a couple after decades together, Scott told the Detroit-based radio show Mojo in the Morning that their children were a top priority for them. "We're really close friends. We're just trying to raise our kids together and make it as normal for them as possible," she said in 2016 about her relationship with the artist. She hinted that she stayed in the marriage in order to not feel lonely. "I had low self-esteem. I just really wanted attention and love from somebody." However, Eminem attacking a man he saw kissing Kim led to their divorce. She also recalled how the Oscar-winning rap star handled a dispute between her and his brother. "There was a disagreement between me and his brother," said Kim, adding, "inappropriate behavior that his brother had. That's what it was. The next morning, there was a note in the bathroom that said, 'I'm going to the other house. I need to clear my head,'" she continued. "I'm so confused about the whole thing. He didn't even come around for a month after that. He didn't come to see the kids. He wasn't calling me. He didn't return phone calls. I didn't know what the heck was going on. Then his attorney's assistant comes to the door and serves me papers." If this was not enough, Eminem frequently dissed Kim Mathers in his songs, which bothered her a lot. In an interview, she revealed, "I was embarrassed. I was humiliated. I cried." She added, "This is supposed to be a man that loves me and is supposed to protect me from being hurt. And here he is disrespecting me in the worst way possible in front of millions of people and in front of our kids, my family, my friends." In 2017, Eminem finally apologized for the way he treated his ex with the help of a song called Bad Husband from his album Revival. He has also made peace with his mother, though he is still considered the rapper who dissed his family the most. A fan on X, previously Twitter, said, "Mariah Carey ended Eminem. Eminem has only beefed with his family, divas, and no one serious. Another said, Eminem's diss tracks ruined careers, made rappers to change genres, made them cry, destroyed whole magazine's reputation. F, he got sued by his own mom and wife. There's no one on this planet who could beat Eminem in a rap. What's your take on Eminem and how he ruined his family? Tell us in the comment section. That's it for this video. Bye.